Welcome in, everybody, to PSU LCX action tonight in the semifinal round as Concal's booster takes on the Universe for the final spot in our LCS finals. I am Runkalish, as I'll be doing your play-by-play tonight, joined by our resident Udyr enjoyer, Mr.
Hi, hello.
Consolo. Oh,
I
I'm
am
talking over
Concal.
you.
Nah, it's fine. Uh, listen, Udyr is a good character. I will defend this until the day that I die. Uh, I don't have anything else to say about it. He's just a good character. Now, we would be going into draft if these people were ready 15 minutes after the start of the game time. But it's Penn State LCS. We have things to do, you know.
You know, we can't do things on time. I will say I was told 8:15, and it is 8:16. I got the timer pretty close.
Mhm.
But it
But it looks
appears
like,
we are in the draft.
oh, it's happening.
It's really here.
All right.
The Concal's booster, being the higher seed, did get to pick sides and took an unusually long amount of time just to pick red side. So we will see who gets the counter picks here, or if the Universe is even going to ban, which they
Takes
do.
30 full seconds to ban Darius. I think Darius is a pretty good ban here.
Yeah, Darius is a
I mean, if
pretty
you know how to
annoying
play
character.
him.
Yes, he's one of those characters. If you have good champ mastery, he can really impact a game. Aurelia, targeted towards Universe Soul, obviously. Heavy Aurelia enjoyer.
Have the singular Aurelia enjoyer here. But those are both bans where it's like they're obviously target bans, but they're good target bans. Like it's difficult to target ban junglers because they always have a pocket Warwick.
Yes, there's.
This I have learned this firsthand. Uh, Everyone has a pocket Warwick. But banning stuff like Darius, stuff like Aurelia, where you really get into like the champion mastery itself, uh, they're just good bans. Then there's an Urgot and a Karma ban. I'm assuming more targeted bans, even though Karma is just very good right now.
I would say the Karma ban is probably more focused towards the flex pick, being that it can go mid and support. But we are going to get a Nami ban, so just getting rid of that is probably to eliminate the Lucian Nami probability.
Mm-hmm.
Lucian Nami, nerf it, gut it, destroy it.
Kill it, yeah.
Her E should not proc electrocute. You should not be giving Lucian a second keystone.
But that actually, the Lucian Nami ban might be because they're trying to. I was gonna say they might be trying to blue one Jinx, and her main counter is Lucian Nami. I'm pretty sure.
But the Universe is just going to go ahead and go fully bear.
Mm-hmm. That's a flex pick. That's top jungle support if you're a Chad.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, I'm a big fan of off meta supports.
Mm-hmm.
Not going too off meta here as the Ezreal comes out. We were talking about
Ezreal's...
Jinx, but he's a pretty safe blindable ADC.
Ooh, Jarvan the Fourth. I think Jarvan the Fourth beats Volibear at least early on, just because Volibear can't match his tempo.
Yeah, I actually played this matchup in my extremely low elo gold games the other day. Jarvan feels terrible as Volibear because for some reason he'll gank 3 times and be the same farm as you.
Yeah, that is the issue, because Volibear wants to impact the map early, and Jarvan just says, I'm going to impact the map even earlier. Slaps that down. Yuumi pick.
Oh, yes.
All right.
I love me some Yuumi.
That might just be for Universe Soul to pick a carry in the top lane, and then Yuumi jumps on him after 15 minutes, and the game is over, 2v8.
Yeah, Yuumi, kind of a fast, as weird as it is to say for Yuumi, faster famine, feast or famine, excuse me, I can't speak.
Well, with Zeri, it is faster famine.
Oh, yeah, very much, especially with this, this is Zeri nerf patch, so we will see. From what I have seen, most people still go the Trinity Force build, but obviously Riot intending to move her towards crit.
I think she's definitely one of those characters that's balanced around pro play, which might not be very good for us, right? Like in PSU LCS, these are both very high elo teams. I think they're both Masters average.
The Universe is playing on a couple of accounts that may or may not be their main accounts, so it's hard to tell. But Concal's boosters is, I believe, Diamond Plus for everyone.
Yeah.
And
So Zeri might not be too terrible of a pick, just because everyone here is high enough elo to actually utilize her. And she obviously does very well with enchanters, does very well with the Yumi. But it looks like top lane bans.
top lane, top lane, top lane. Counter pick
The
lane. Gonna ban it
Vayne
all.
top lane ban. Interesting.
They're worried about it. Maybe it's AP Zeri mid, throwing it back to
It actually might be.
the first 2 weeks of Zeri's release.
But yeah, it's Juggernaut bans from the Universe's side, which means they might want to pick something more like Yasuo? Not Yasuo, obviously, but like something that's like squishier and higher skill that Juggernauts can just beat the snot out of like pretty easily.
Yeah, one of our less common top laners, I believe, would be something to say. I mean, it's going to be hard to find. Okay. So that is actually most likely going to be a Zoe support for Concal's booster.
Okay.
We saw Tablea play that last week actually against my team and do quite well.
Did they win?
They did win.
Yeah, that's all you need.
Azir, I mean, technically Azir could go into the support role, but
He could go top lane.
that is also a possibility.
Because he can escape ganks.
And we
that's a
have
no pick.
a no pick.
Let's see. It's what was it? Galio. It was Galio.
Okay, it was Galio, so they're just going to go ahead and pick their 5th pick here.
Yeah, a lot of stuff is happening in
once
chat.
we stop typing in chat and just lock in our 5th champion.
Procraft writes Galio, Galkiog, Gakayo, Gaklio. So very interesting picks from them.
They might miss their 5th pick, being worried about their 4th pick.
All right.
The Malphite does come in though.
Galio and Malphite. All right. Can we get a little graphic on screen of just a little picture of Galio dancing on over to the blue 4 slot?
Listen, I'm satisfied that we are currently live and with audio and everything. Do not make things more difficult for me.
Sorry, I have to make my co-caster's life difficult. Double tank top lane. Interesting.
We ban out all these fun champs to play Malphite Ornn.
Well, that's interesting. Universal is putting away the ego to play Malphite top lane. That's
unheard of. I mean, it really is.
Sylas. They're saying Sylas over Ornn. Okay.
That's
not double tank top lane.
That would make more sense than the Ornn. Pretty good ults here.
All right, yeah. Malphite, Galio, Zeri, Volibear, and Yumi. Also, like they're all pretty incredible ults for Sylas. Yumi is the worst ult to take there, I think, which is saying something considering how strong Yumi ult is.
Yeah. It's just kind of Yumi ult can just be kind of a situational type thing where you need people to kind of not be paying attention. As we have gone ahead.
But Sylas has a lot of dashes, which means that it's going to be very difficult to run away from the Yumi ult.
Yeah, that's something on Yumi. Something people utilize is you can use your W as kind of a mini dash to reposition your ult. Sylas has a much easier time repositioning that, and he can actually abduct and abscond while using the Yumi ult.
Which is it's a little hard to get away from the Yumi ult while you're already stunned, and Sylas is dashing to you 14 times a second.
Yeah, it's not fun. And then he's also got Volibear ult, which we could see some interesting dive potential with that. The Malphite art, he's going to probably take that on cooldown once we get in past landing phase.
Well, I think one of the biggest issues is that they only have one damage source on the universe. It's really just Zeri hard carries or the game is over.
Yeah, unless they elect for the AP Malphite, which is not a good sustained source of damage.
Yeah.
But as far as the champ kits go, it's pretty much Zeri or we all just don't do damage.
Because Concal's boosters has Ezreal and Azir for sustained physical and magical damage, and then they have Zoe for pick potential. Meanwhile, the universe has 2 tanks on the top side, 3 if you count Volibear, which is what I'm assuming is going to happen. That's the current meta for Volibear jungle. So I don't know.
So.
I think as Jarvan, I just walk bot lane on repeat. Zeri gets nothing out of it. Like, Zeri can barely farm, she's getting constantly dove, and I think the game is just over. Like, it's very difficult to survive dives if with like a Yumi support.
Oh,
And
well, you haven't seen my Yumi support.
yeah, I haven't seen yours.
Uh, my proudest moment is getting a double kill under a tower as Yumi. She can actually, when the enemy team does not have good CC to put her attach on reset, she can
Yeah,
outplay under the tower a little bit.
this is true.
But seeing as Zoe can probably just press her bubble on her,
Yeah.
not great. And Zeri, as we discussed, is pretty gutted this patch. Still playable. At least people are playing her.
Uh,
I
Tabaya
think he
is
does
picking
not
Zoe, right?
own Zoe on this account, maybe. Oh, no, he
Oh,
does.
there it
Okay,
is.
there we go. He did
All right.
switch accounts right before the game.
But I think I don't know. I'm going to put my bets on Concal's boosters this game. Just because they have the damage, and if Zeri ever dies, it's really just game over. And
Yeah,
especially with like Silas with Malphite ult, it just kills her.
yeah. I mean the only thing on the side of Concal's boosters is they don't have that much CC, but whenever you only draft Zeri as a damage dealer, you don't really need to have consistent CC because you just need to blow her up. Um, Galio is capable of doing damage, but generally he needs 2 items to get to that point. Um, yeah, it's just
I don't know. I just think it's a very strange draft from Universe Soul side.
yeah. It kind of felt like they had an idea going, and then things kind of fell apart after the Yumi pick.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of Yumi Zeri, uh, especially when Nautilus was just sitting there. Uh, I'm much bigger fan of that.
Yeah.
The Galio was kind of not that Galio is necessarily bad into his year. Galio is just not a great champ right now.
I think that what would have actually balanced it out is if Universe Soul picked a carry top laner, like a Fiora, a Camille, um, anyone that does consistent damage. Because Galio, Volibear, and Yumi, and Zeri do have the magic damage covered. Zeri also has the physical damage covered. So you don't really have to worry about like balancing the damage out. I think just
Something with a bit
I
more
think I would have liked to
outplay
see more
potential.
damage. Yeah, more damage. Even though they were going to get counterpicked top lane, I think someone like a Fiora can always outplay it. Especially if you have two top lane bans, you can play around having
Yeah,
a
especially I
Fiora.
mean we're talking about Mordekaiser band, Set band, Darius band, Aurelia is a top flex, Urgot
Well, I
band,
mean,
Jax band, Vayne band.
Relia was banned. Yeah.
Yeah, so there were a lot of top lane bans, and a lot of them would be. Oh, so you kind of knew where they were going. The Silas obviously being picked probably mostly because the Malphite was picked.
Mm-hmm.
So hard to say what
What would have
Aiden
happened?
would have gone, but
Mm-hmm.
I think either way, one of the champions you listed would have been better.
Now in chat, Zomzone is writing that it's game 2 and Rohan FF'd game 1. I don't. That's not true, right?
Uh, that is not true. I believe.
I think he might just be doing a little bit of lying.
I believe Rohan just barely got his ADC in the lobby in time.
It was coming down to the wire for sure.
People coming back from Easter break might have had Revex unloading his car until exactly 8:15, which is why we had such a long stream timer. I promise it was not the stream's fault.
Asper's take no responsibility.
That is true. We do what the teams make us do.
I've never done anything wrong in my life. This is on stream. It's true. Anyway, spectator delay is about to be over. We're gonna get into game, and I'm predicting that it's gonna look good for Universe Soul's team early, but later into the game, they're just gonna see that they have no damage, and the game will be over.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have fun until about 15 minutes.
At which point people will start to get tank stats.
And then things get a little more interesting. as
A
my
little bit.
favorite part of the game comes up, and we will get to take a look at the great skins that we will see in this game.
Oh, we get to see the skin enjoyer.
If Riot's spectator decides to load, which apparently it is not going to.
It has been doing pretty poorly.
Um, took a good 15 seconds just to get to see.
Oh, you're seeing the skins already? I'm
I
still
am.
on the loading
I am
screen.
now. I apologize for the black screen on stream right now.
Again, stream, we take no responsibility. This time it's Riot's fault.
Yes, we are at the mercy of Riot. As I need to turn my Discord overlay off because it is on for some reason.
So I'm looking at the runes. This is a Glacial Augment Zoe support.
Yes. I cannot remember off the top of my head if Tablea did that against my team last week. I would imagine it would be pretty good because if we look at the other team here, we've got Malphite is melee, Galio melee, Volibear melee, Yuumi is going to be on top of somebody. So I would think Glacial would have some pretty good value in team fights.
The issue is it's delayed, correct?
Yes, it does not proc when she hits her bubble. It only goes after they sleep.
And another issue I'm starting to see with that is that if she hits Volibear, he can cancel the drowsiness with his ult, which makes him unstoppable.
Yes, but I'd also imagine that you're pretty comfortable taking that trade if you are.
Oh yeah, Sleepy Trouble Bubble
Zoe.
For an ult. Yes.
As
it's on a pretty short cooldown.
Have a bit of a spectator issue here.
It'll go away in a few seconds.
You can enjoy Zoe's hair. I believe that is Cyberpop Zoe, just based on the hair. Maybe Star Guardian. I forgot.
I think it's default Zoe. I think it's default Zoe.
Okay, we are good now.
Oh yeah, you do have to click forward. So I am currently at 17 seconds, 18, 19.
I am now at 20 seconds, which is all the farther I can go forward, believe it or not.
All right. I'll synchronize mine.
Yeah,
with
you
yours.
might want to. I just hit 30 seconds here, as we're going to get a little bit of action in the river here with the Jarvan flag coming down.
The topside warding game is pretty fierce. Because you can put down a ward on their buff if they let you. Or you can just put it in the river to make sure. Yeah, if they let you. Again, this is all like it's the prisoner's dilemma. It's like if you both go up there, you get nothing. But if only one of you goes up there, you get to know exactly where they start, which is pretty fantastic.
Instead, we're just going to see Zalthate go ahead and pop the ward down, go back, grab a sweeper, and come all the way back. I am noticing...
Might be going for a topside invade.
The scoreboard for me is not showing items, so that...
It is for me. It's a pretty default start for everyone. Ezreal started tier instead of a Doran's item. Zarya went Doran's blade. Maybe you could try to...
I toggled X, toggled show gold.
There it is.
So we are back now. Everyone's good. Ezreal just going with the good old tier start, like you said. Yuumi did go for the control ward. As people have realized over the last couple years of Yuumi, you don't really need the potions.
I actually would have liked to see Yuumi start potions. I think trading aggressively as Yuumi in this lane is going to be pretty useful.
I do not mind it on most situations. We get some trading in the top lane here as A-Naden hits the Abductive Scond on the Malphite and actually wins that trade pretty well. Universal did not pop his Corrupting Pot until just now, though, so he will heal back up, and it looks like Aiden, that's going to be fun to say over and over again, is going to come out about it even there. The Yuumi, as I was saying with the health pots, I agree with you. The only issue is Zoe can walk up and press E, and the health pots trading back up in the top lane again. As Aiden had to tank some minions there, so he's going to lose out on that. But I do agree with you that it is good in certain matchups. I'm a bit of a Yuumi enjoyer myself.
Unfortunately, a Yuumi enjoyer.
A bit of a Yuumi enjoyer.
But I think Yuumi's She doesn't get canceled just from drowsiness, correct?
No, it has to actually, the sleep has to actually go off. As Tableya is going to come around and use the ignite he got from his bubble. He's going to hit the bubble on Yuumi, who is just barely going to get it off. And the directed camera has decided that a bot lane gank for the Volibear is not interesting enough. As the E comes down, Tableya has to flash out, and Concal is just going to flash out, but Volibear flashes into the stun. Exhaust coming down. Volibear knocked up by the Jarvan. He's getting low. Does Yuumi have heal? And they're going to let the Volibear die as Concal goes in and grabs the Q. Zalt moving in here on the Jarvan as he's hitting the Zeri. Zeri just ease over that wall and is going to get out. Tableya still pressuring here, and we are now all going to calm down. All said and done, Concal gets the kill, 1-0.
Like I said, if I'm Jarvan the Fourth, I am just going to be sitting bot lane here. There is nothing to be gained in the top lane, but for Universe Soul's team,
bit of a roam here from Procraft coming up to the top lane. 8 in, most likely just going to go ahead and abduct and abscond. He's going to go in, actually. He's going to miss the abscond on the Universe Soul. Just barely misses out on the kill. Universe Soul did take a minion, and he goes down to the corrupting pot and minions. Jarvan 4 is already back down here. Zalt's looking for the flag and drag over the wall, and he hits it, but there's no follow-up damage. He needs to be careful here. He does get Nullifying Orb to make him a little tanky. Concal's going dull here, and Universe Soul is TP'd in. Tableya smites there, but Concal goes down to the Volibear. It is now 2 kills for the Volibear. That's a trade 2-for-1 there. Tableya,
I actually think that's worth.
I would say probably. Tableya, if he gets out here, which it looks like he will, it's going to be hard to move through that glacial.
Wow, that is such a strong keystone.
It really is, because you get the sleep, and then you basically, it's not quite as strong as Stridebreaker was when it was basically a root on a 15-second cooldown, but it is a similar type of slow.
But I think that it was worth it, just because A, Zeri died, and B, Volibear picked up the kills, and he is essentially going to be a non-threat later into the game.
Yeah, it did close the gold gap a little bit, but as you said, the gold, basically the spiraling potential of the gold on Volibear is lower than it would be on someone else.
Because Ezreal is up 500 gold now on Zeri, and the wave is pushing back towards him. Meanwhile, it is just the gold gap is in the jungle now. But that doesn't really matter because Volibear jungle scales incredibly poorly. You can't split push on him.
Tableya's going to come in the mid lane. He's going to hit the CB Trouble Bubbled, and the Q's just come out. It's just going to be a little bit... He actually misses.
He missed it.
Misses there, so he's going to get a little less. Soak a little bit of this lane XP here. He does have the Relic Shield. He did opt for that over the Spell Thief, so he's just going to help Zerial push out this lane a bit. As Aiden looking for the trade here in the top lane again. Nice little chunk of damage. Universal did elect for the Bramble Vest first item as Zeri's going in here. Revex getting a little damage out there. Concal actually going to be chunked almost all the way down, and thanks to the Yuumi heal and shield, that turret shot not going to do much.
Yeah, it's going to be just mostly farming in the bottom lane for now. Especially, I might eat my words.
I do not think Tableya is going to cooperate with that sentiment.
I was assuming he was going to be permanently roaming, as high elo supports generally do, but...
Revex is going to spot out Zalt here on the Dragon. He's getting pretty low, and Procraft does have a move here on Zeri. He's going to flash in with the taunt. He's going to hit him. Zeri does get the kill, which is preferable there. Serial is going in, hits the Shurima Shuffle there, and Revex just goes down to Concal. Procraft in a bit of an awkward situation here. If he has an E here, and he does, he gets out. Tableya is going to flash forward. He hits the bubble on the Yuumi, and the Yuumi does attach, but brings the Glacial onto Procraft. And we're all just going to walk away.
Now, one little point about it, that wasn't the Shurima Shuffle. It's a very
It was it was a very simplified version. He did slide in.
It was a slide. It was a very well played fight though from Azir.
And Zalt is just going to walk down and be like, "Hey, I was doing this earlier. I'm going to keep doing this."
Can I get a mulligan on this one?
He's like, "Hey, bot lane, why don't you sit here this time?"
Now, Ezreal is going to be getting ahead, which is kind of scary, especially if you're on the universe, just because a fed Ezreal is essentially uncatchable for their team. You need to use Malphite ult, and Malphite ult is dodgeable if you're Ezreal. You can just E away.
As Aiden is going to get a nice trade here. Aiden, he does get the Malphite ult second and uses it. Generally, whoever uses their ult second in that trade is going to end up in a better place, just because Sylas is going to heal anyways. He is getting beat up here by the Volibear, but he does get the heal off. Procraft is here to assist, though. It's going to be a question of can he burst down this Volibear before he dies, and it does not look like he's going to get CC locked, and the Volibear is once again going to pick up that kill. Concal does get poked here by the Prowling Projectile.
That last little bit of minion damage. But Tablea has a Turbo Chem Tank. Does that proc with Glacial Augment?
I am not sure. Zoe, Zoe's support with Glacial has offered some unique questions here, as Serial is going to poke down here. Has already gotten 2 plates in the mid lane, is halfway through the 3rd plate there. A lot of gold value, basically a kill.
I think it's only immobilizing effects.
I
can remember.
Yes. But obviously to proc Glacial in the first place requires the immobilizing effect of the bubble. Because we're all going to calm down a bit here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a relaxing little bit. There's no objective. The only Rift Herald is up, and I think that they're seeing Silas as a bigger...
It is caught out here. He is going to move a little towards. He's going to try to go in here. He should not have his ult. He does not. The Volibear comes down with the ult, and it's just dead. But meanwhile, Revex in the bot lane is taking damage. Squishy Beans here is going to have to eat a couple Ezreal skill shots as Zoe gets through and gets the kill. And now Squishy Beans is his poor little Yuumi. Squishy, to say the least, as Zalt Hate's going to come in. He's going to flash ult. Maybe a little bit
a little overkill.
Little maybe overkill, but you know what?
It's just a cat.
He's probably typing right now, Worth, as I'm noticing chat is on. Luckily, no one has said anything mean. Not
yes,
that
they're all very sportsmanship.
Not that any PSU players would say anything rude.
No, we are all very kind.
Jarvan is going to go ahead and take that red buff here.
We might be looking at a redive, actually.
We could be.
If Jarvan takes the red and then goes back bot lane, Concal and Tablea are both full HP.
They know Volley just took the Herald, so they know he's top.
Yeah. There's nobody to interrupt it, and it does look like the redive's about to happen.
That being said, Universal is making his way down here. It'd be interesting if they see that, because if he comes in, Malphite ult, as the Zoe Trouble Bubble misses, Revex is gonna move out away from tower. He gets the kill on the Tablea. They just need Universal to get here in time, but it does not look like he does. Universal does have flash, and he goes in, hits the Jarvan, but Jarvan gets the shield. Concal's going to hit him with the ult. He actually kited back into it, but we will not see the re-engage from Zalt Hate. Meanwhile, Serial's just poking down this Galio, not doing much damage, being as Galio is Galio. And he does take people down. Zalt does not have the flag, though, to hit the flag and drag to knock up Procraft, so it looks like we're going to walk away. Zalt
It looks like Everfrost Galio as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. It gives him good tanky stats while also offering utility and damage.
But yeah, that was, again, it was just the redive. Zoe did have stopwatch. I'm not sure if it was up yet. It is the rune stopwatch, the perfectly timed, so it might have only come up after Zeri died. But if it was up, that would have been a perfect dive. Nobody died for it. It is going to be a Zoe catch.
Yeah, Zoe, Tablea is going to, part of playing that champ is going to be getting caught a little bit here. As Zoe died, but my scoreboard does not update to reflect that.
Yeah, it is currently, yeah, you need to reset your scoreboard. Ezreal also has different amount of kills.
As there we go. As you all know, Riot is a small indie company here, as Revex is going to go ahead and take these plates along with the Volibear. Yuumi not being here, giving that gold over.
Wow, Ezreal does a lot of damage with Divine Sunder here.
Oh, it is very strong. It is crazy how strong his Mythic Spike is, considering he is also just one of the best scaling ADCs in general.
I mean, also, you have to consider, it's 3 tanks versus Divine Sunderer.
Oh yes, he's going to have a good time there. As we actually see Serial getting a bit of a farm bounty here with the 0-0-1 scoreline.
He is 50 CS up at 12 minutes. You do have to consider that.
He is
kind of insane.
Well on his way. He does elect for the Leandries here, seeing the Malphite, Volibear, and Galio. All good value there.
Actually, there is a significant gold gap just from the farm gap.
Yeah, I mean, Galio has roamed quite a bit more, has a bit more kill participation, but it does not matter just because of how much farm there is. Zalt's getting poked down pretty low here. He's going to flag out the Yuumi. Will they flash in for the Yuumi? Volibear's coming down, but the heal comes out onto Zalt. Revex is right in the middle of there. Serial can't get him down. Tablea goes down, and now all that's left is Concal sitting over there, and they do not even finish the Drake.
Wow, yeah, they have died a few times.
Coming with the Malphite, it's going to knock him up, going to kill him. It is possible for him to do this as long as Concal does not get locked up, but he is going to get knocked up, and it looks like Concal just barely going to go down. Procraft flashing over the wall is going to come back over now. 888 misses the abducted of Sgon. He's coming down low. He does kill the Galio, though, as he is getting a little low here. Yuumi just poking him down. Volibear does have that. Oh, he heals up just a bit more. Does have the Chem Tank for that extra damage, and eventually he does go down. Whew.
Wow, yes, this is the second major Drake fight, and both times it has gone so poorly for Concal's team. But they just keep going for it. But look, Concal's team is going to get the Drake again. I'm not sure how this keeps happening. They keep losing the fight at Drake, but then coming back and getting the Drake anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it just works. I mean,
and they are still up gold. It is. Oh, now the gold difference evened out, but that is. I'm not even sure if that's worth it for Concal's team.
So
they gave over bounties. They gave over a lot of kills to Zeri, especially. It's dangerous.
Yeah, the kills are in favor of the universe right now, but we do see the gold is even right now. As
now, a majority of that gold is on Volibear.
Yes, and that is not too great. That being said, if any champ gets fed enough, they are strong. So, we can't say for sure that it is an issue yet, but we will see. Jarvan obviously is able to offer some more utility than Voli is based on the gold. As we have returned just to poking here.
Now, one of the major things that you pick Volibear for is having early prio, so you can take Drakes and like Rift Heralds. Like that's like a huge part of why you play Volibear is like you just have that prio early because your character is so strong in 1v1s, nobody can contest you. But they have been losing Drakes, which is pretty unfortunate considering their team is going to lose the scaling game.
Bubble does barely miss there. So we're all just going to walk away now while Zalt is going to go ahead and grab the blue buff in Volibear's top side here. Procraft getting a little poked out under tower here is the nature of the Leandri's Azir. Universal says, excuse me, sir. That appears to be mine. He does dodge out on the flag and drag there. But it looks like we're just going to walk away knowing the Sylas is most likely able to walk down as the mid lane tower does go down and then top lane following shortly after.
Those towers, even more than gold difference, I think the tower difference is what's going to matter because now...
Well, as Universal goes in, lands the Malphite R. Procraft coming over. We'll see if he's able to get in range here to set up a taunt and knock up here, but the TP is coming in here from Serial. Azir is here with ult, so we're all just going to walk away as we see Tablea is making his way up here. If we could get an interesting Zoe bubble, but a little bit of a whiff there. And now we're going to maybe try to see a bait here from Universal as the Galio is just waiting in the bush here.
It's going to go back to farming. That is going to be Rift Herald for Concal's boosters, though.
Absolutely, we get the 4-man rotation. And here's the issue with the Yuumi here, with the Zeri, is were they to have some sort of Nautilus engage support here, it is possible for them to dive the Ezreal and punish the 4-man rotation top. But with the Yuumi, you're kind of stuck just farming.
They did try to punish it. If you notice that random directed camera moment during the middle of that fight, Zeri ulted and Yuumi both ulted to try to kill the Ezreal, but he was just able to press E and leave.
He's got a flash on a basic ability, you know. Plus, it goes down the more he hits abilities.
Very balanced.
And at this point in the game, he's pressing Q about every second and a half.
Another thing, I don't know if you noticed, Volibear did have a 700 gold bounty, but because of the farm difference, it's gone down to only 450 gold.
You know, Volibear, he's over here saying worth to that. Bounties, I would love to understand them myself. I have tried to learn, and sometimes they just don't make sense.
It just, there's nothing about it that makes sense in my head.
It just works. Zeri has managed to keep fairly even a farm with the Ezreal, as we are going to see the Volibear coming in. Getting on to Zalt with the Galio R coming down. Zalt is going to drag out of there. Ezreal all comes down and does what I would call almost 0 damage. The Zoe Bubble does land here. Zalt's going to go ahead and pop the Herald here, so they're going to take the tower in the meantime. The Cataclysm comes down. Big damage. Zalt gets knocked off. Procraft is just kind of sitting there like, what am I supposed to do here? Volibear all comes down. Tablea has to flash over the wall. Concal is getting collapsed on the Malphite ultimate comes in. Aiden's just going to kind of be like, what can I do here? Concal does do some big damage here, but Zeri is going to be getting a lot of stacks here from people if she's just going to keep farming here. I think the decision here from Concal's boosters is just going to be to back off and let this go.
And that is one thing I don't know if you noticed in that fight, but Ezreal was healing for a quarter of his HP every other Q just because he has those tanks in the front line to farm it off of with that Divine Sunderer proc.
Yeah, he's having a good time as we are going to see the ult come out here from Azir as he's going to get locked up here. I do not think he's going to be able to get out of this one. He does go down. Which with the dragon coming up in 10 seconds is going to be a big advantage here for the universe, but they are low on health here.
I think, honestly, I would say Concal's boosters get this dragon. Without the Malphite ult to engage, there are 5 ults down on the universe side. Ooh, engage.
The Trouble Bubble is going to come in. The ultimate is going to come out from the Ezreal. You can see Galio not really taking damage. He actually went for the crown over the Everfrost. Similar itemization pass, is hard to tell. Bubble almost catches Procraft out there, but he gets away. You have to remember here, Cloud Soul is going to do a lot of damage. The Malphite ult is on the Sylas. Gets taunted up, knocked off. Procraft just trying to keep people out. But Malphite actually gets hit by the Trouble Bubble in the pit. Procraft coming down. Aiden in the pit. Just no one wants to die, but our health bars are running out here. Zalt's going to go down. They do get the 1,000 gold shutdown on the Volibear, as Revex is just running out of mana here, so he's not going to be able to E over this wall and is just going to get taken down. And now, poor little Yuumi actually gets out onto Procraft.
Oh my God.
And we will see if the Abscond lands here, but it looks like he's just slightly out of range. The Trouble Bubble lands! Oh, he gets just barely out. Aiden just maybe slightly greeting for this kill, but it does end up working out with no one going down. The bubble lands again. Tablea goes and gets executed, and the Ezreal cannot finish it off. Concal almost dies for that as well.
That was an entertaining fight. That was, I think, the longest fight I've seen in this game, literally since I started playing. That was...
you got a little solo queue in my PSU LCS there.
Yeah, wow, what happened? Just a dash of tankiness. Yeah, like I said, nobody on the universe had any of their ults up, and that is so important for characters like Zeri or Malphite, who are basically defined by their ult. And they just... Oh, Universe Soul might be getting caught out here, and he has to burn ult to get away.
That is a little unfortunate there. That cooldown, being as he is going tank, Malphite does not have too much CDR at his kit, so he's going to be a little happy. Zalt is going to keep going. He's just going to go ahead and drag on out of there.
Yeah, that,
And never mind, we're going to come back with the entire team as Aiden leading the front line here. We're all just going to fight over who gets to take the blue buff. Ultimately, Serial wins out in that argument, being the Azir. Procraft is kind of saying, I would like to get to you guys, but there are bubbles everywhere.
Procraft did go Crown of the Shattered Queen, which I think is bad. Just because there's an Ezreal and Azir on the other team. Again, look, right there.
Your crown's gone.
It so easily. Your crown's gone. You used up your mythic slot. Look at that. And look at that Divine Sunderer damage coming out from Ezreal. It is just... I don't know. I don't think it's a good item here in any way.
Yeah, I did notice it during that drag fight, and I tried to mention it, but then we decided to explode into the 5-minute long fight that we had there. It's important to note that out of that fight, the Cloud Drag did go over to Concal's booster, so it is soul point for them. 888 coming in, getting the Volibear. Actually knocks them with instantly trouble, but just barely gets the Blast Cone off. Ira's Soul walking up here, barely does not have the Malphite ult, so need to be a little careful. Zeri's going to get hit with bubbles. Tablea has heat-seeking bubbles right now.
Yeah, Tablea's been playing out of his mind.
His KDA does not look fantastic, but he is...
It's a support KDA.
It absolutely.
He is giving the kills away to his carry, and like Concal's KDA, I think, is more reflective of how well Tablea is doing than Tablea's KDA.
Universal not having a good time here in the bot lane.
Yeah.
Azir is dealing with the unfortunate drawback of Leandries, is that when you get that going off here. You cannot stand under the tower to hit the tower, as Zalt is going to
The
go ahead and
Baron
start up the Baron. Well, they saw the Galio rotating towards bot lane as long as the Malphite. They did just get spotted out here, but the Azir is going to TP.
I really like this.
Azir with
I
Leon
really
is
like
going to
this,
burst this. Tablea's just
They
going to
have
zone.
nobody that can contest. Volibear is getting zoned. He has to flash ult to get in, but he can't even make it.
He's just going to get Everfrosted by Tablea, and now he's just going to get beat up. A huge Malphite ult comes in, chained off the Galio ult, but there just is no damage to follow that up, as Revex is just standing here. What am I supposed to do, as he has 4 members down, does have some ult stacks going on. We will see if Concal's boosters decide they want to go in. Aiden's thinking,
Is this a Zeri moment?
This could be a Zeri moment, but Aiden,
I think our stacks have run out.
Aiden got a little bit of probably advice from his team to say, back off.
Yeah. That was, I think that really did show the difference in draft. I think, having those, every single ult hit, Malphite ult hit, Galio ult hit, I mean, Volibear was in there, Yuumi ult was getting all of them, but it just didn't matter because they were all knocked up, CC'd, stunned for that long, but there was no damage to follow it up. There was nothing that, like, I think Zeri did show up a little bit later, but even if Zeri was there, I think it just wouldn't have mattered. There was no damage to finish that fight off.
No, we saw those health bars just sitting around 50%, and you're like, oh, they're so close, but there's just, once you use your damage on this comp, Tablea almost finds another trouble bubble there. But once you use up your ults on this comp, you really have nothing else left.
Yeah, it is so unfortunate. Ooh, a little bit of a fight might be breaking out before this dragon. Everyone's looking for catches, but it is hard to get a catch when your team has no damage. Zeri ult won't be up for this fight, or if it does come up, it's going to be just right as it begins.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looks like they're a little worried about that Malphite ult here. They don't want anyone to get caught out, so they are going to back up for Concal's boosters. But Volibear is going to be half health here, and he does not have Raptors up to heal off of.
Oh, Sleepy Trouble Bubble coming through. Zeri goes in. That wasn't the play.
But the Malphite comes in with the huge ult.
ult.
It was a bait, as Volibear comes in just short. They do get one member, but Zalt is healing up now. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble misses out on the Yuumi, but it doesn't matter. Revex is kiting back, but Aiden is eventually just going to use the ult. Tablea does go down now, but Zalt is chasing Procraft into the jungle, and it does not look like he's having very good of a time, and it is a 5-for-1 ace here for the side of Concal's boosters.
Yeah, I feel safe in calling it here. I think that this is, at this point, it's about a 10k gold lead, around 9k actually, but with a Soul, Baron, and a 9k gold lead, it's just game over.
Yeah, it really played out how you thought it would. Early game, there were not too many differences showing, but once we got past that 15-minute mark, things got difficult. We will see. The Universe is going to have 5 members here as a bit of a last defense. Let's see. It looks like Concal's boosters are going to be out. Zalthate does get hit here. He is and it looks like the Universe is going to elect to chase. Prowling Projectile does get empowered and slow there. But the Volibear is just getting knocked down. We are going to see the Azir all come down. Zalt does not end up dying. Universe Soul now going down. Zalt just does not go down. Zeri is kind of just stuck out here now as Aiden is going to come in. Procraft goes down. And Revex burning down does get over the wall. It is just going to get cataclysmed by Zalt. He says, we are not playing this game. You are going down. And yes. Tablea comes in for his participation trophy.
Yeah, that is, I believe that's game over. I think they have enough minions to finish this here.
Even if they don't, at this point in the game, everyone can tank at least a couple tower shots.
Yeah, and I think it just traded around.
Is going to go ahead and go down.
End of game 1. I think it really was a draft difference. Both teams played pretty well, but not much you can do there.
Yeah, it's pretty difficult there. But luckily for everyone here, we get at least one more game, so we will get to see how the Universe ends up coming back here. And we will be with you in hopefully just a few moments. But please stick around and enjoy some excellent music.
All right. See you later.
And we are back, everybody, hopefully ready for the Game 2 draft. And hopefully we will have fewer issues this time.
Mm-hmm. Blue one Aurelia ban. Very
Yep.
sad. Rohan, Universe Soul, is going to be just crying about that.
We are going to stick with the Darius ban again. It is important to note that as the losers of last game, the Universe did get to pick their side and did elect for the red side. Do see the Urgot ban once again.
We are going to see probably a top lane red 5 pick from the Universe, which might make it easier for them to pick a top lane that's not a tank. Sometimes a tank is a correct red 5 pick, but I'm interested to see how they're going to change their drafts from the first game.
Yeah, bans not looking too different as the Nami does come out again. That was Karma last time, but we might see the Karma here. The Veigar is the same once again. Feeling a bit like an LCK draft here. We're just going to do the same thing until it works. We do get
Azir ban over Karma. That is the singular difference in drafts so far.
But hopefully we'll get a little bit different here. Being as Concal's boosters do have to be one here.
They just banned top and mid laners. Just the Ezreal pick. That's fair.
Oh yeah, you know.
Concal's comfort pick.
Oh, might get a little bit of a difference here.
Lethality Zaya, maybe? Yes,
Could
it
very
is.
well be seeing it. It is a very popular pick.
Haven't seen the Lethality Zaya build, it is Eclipse into just like full lethality, full poke with Cereldius. Because once you get Cereldius on Zaya, you can go Q, auto E, and it's pretty much guaranteed to hit because of the slow, which is pretty strong for catching. It's pretty strong for poking. It's just a very strong build in general.
Yeah, it's not too fun to play against. As instead of banning the Karma, the Universe is going to elect to take the Karma. Is a bit of a flex threat here, going mid or support. Could even go top, but that one we don't see quite as much anymore.
Thankfully.
Yes, tank Karma top.
Ooh, don't say those words to me.
Those were the days.
Ooh, a Misfortune pick.
Misfortune is going to come out.
It might be actually double poke ADCs, because I know the Lethality Misfortune build, or Misfortune with Leandri's first item going into AD afterwards, is a pick.
Yeah, it's Misfortune does offer quite a bit of build diversity, as it could see a bit of a fun pick here from Tablea once again.
I'm liking the Blitzcrank, actually.
It is a similar vein to the Zoe.
I think if he catches someone with the Zaya root, it's a pretty much guaranteed kill. Another Zoe. Okay.
Okay, that Zoe, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it is not solo lane Blitzcrank.
You don't know that.
That's a good point.
We are not sure of this. I think it will be Zoe mid though.
Yes, Serial being quite the Zoe enjoyer.
Universe Soul taking the Jarvan the fourth this time.
Yeah, we're just gonna, instead of banning Karma, we take Karma. Instead of letting them pick Jarvan, we pick Jarvan. But we're just gonna go right on back to the top lane bans.
Mordekaiser set were the bans last game, and Vayne Jax was the bans last game as well. And it's the exact same thing. So one singular difference in the bans, if they ban Vayne here, I guess. Come on. Yes. It's the exact same the exact same bans, apart from the singular Azir ban. The sole difference.
For Concal's boosters, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For the Universe, thinking about drafting is hard.
I mean, to be fair, it is PSU LCS. A lot of people don't have a champion Ocean, so if you ban out their mains, you have a much better chance in banning for a specific team comp. Malzahar pick. Very interesting.
If it does go ahead and get locked in.
I don't like the Malzahar pick here, actually. I will admit it.
The only reason I could think of that is that you're worried about getting hit by Zoe bubbles, but Zoe could just poke the shield off of you and then bubble.
Yeah. Nocturne.
Okay. And it does get locked in.
That is not terrible.
we're going no tank drafts here. Jarvan is
Yeah.
the closest thing we have to a tank, and he's
Well,
most likely going
Blitzcrank.
Gore Drinker. Blitz is interesting because he usually does not build like straight tank items.
He just built supportive. Wukong.
And
I
it's
like
the
that.
newly buffed Wukong.
I think that it might be a Nocturne top flex, depending on who they pick. And it's Rohan on Malphite again. It's the Universe Soul on Malphite.
Yes, he's looking like
He's
he
he's
wants to
he's
do that.
considering it.
He's
I
probably
don't like it.
he's seeing. I'm guessing what he's seeing is the Xayah Nocturne Wukong very heavy AD comp with Zoe being the only AP.
But I don't. What is he gonna use his Malphite ult on?
Yeah, he's gonna get spell shielded by the Nocturne. He's gonna get Xayah is just gonna jump up in the
Yes,
air and dodge that.
but it seems like he's gonna lock it in anyway. Interesting.
You can call Rohan a lot of things, but scared is not one of them.
That's fair. I think bare minimum, he's gonna force the Xayah ult out, which means maybe they can get the Jarvan the fourth Misfortune combo, the Cataclysm into bullet time.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but you could also, I mean, Zoe can technically use her R to dodge the Malphite ultimate. Wukong is going to be able to dash out. He's able to dash over walls now. Gives him a lot more options.
Mhm.
Um,
I think the Wukong dashing over walls is actually going to be the biggest thing because it means that he can start a team fight invisibly over a wall, which is actually very insane. Um, he can W over Raptor Wall, I believe now.
yeah, it's
The
why we're seeing him in jungle quite a bit, is because it opens up a lot of gank angles. But I would guess this is going to be, we will get to find out right away here.
Yeah, I think it will be Wukong top just because he can survive lane against a Malphite. Nocturne does have that sustain on his passive, but I don't think it's enough to survive into the Malphite Q poke, especially with Arcane Comet, which is what he took last game.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't think it's as good as a matchup as it would be just to go Wukong.
Mm.
Especially Wukong is getting played in the jungle, but I'm not sure yet on his clear numbers and how that does compare. But
What I've seen, it was never his clear that stopped him from being meta. It was just that he had a very linear game plan, and he lost to a lot of common jungle picks. But now he can W over walls.
okay, we've locked in Jax by mistake, so we are going to
That's
go
cool.
ahead.
Draft is going to be reset.
Reset draft here, as we're going to go ahead and get to the waiting screen for just
It
a
is
minute.
a classic mistake where you pick the fourth ban.
Yep, we're kind of locked in here. Have to wait for one person to get back into the lobby. Unfortunately, that means we also need to wait for everybody to rearrange themselves in the lobby.
We don't have to have them rearrange.
We don't
themselves.
have
we know where they're
to,
going.
but they are very kind souls that want to make my job easier.
Maybe make our job a little more difficult too.
Just a bit. But it looks like we're back right where we
We're
started.
back. All right, the classic Aurelia, Urgot, Vigar bans. So predictions on the actual drafts. I think both drafts are fairly even this time. I think they have a good mix of damage and tankiness.
It is certainly better than what we saw coming out last game from the universe. Big moment here is Aiden able to successfully lock in the correct champion.
This is the actual difficult part of the game.
He does. He pulls it off. And Malphite instantly locked in. Ooh. We are 2 for 2 on picks thus far. Are we going to make it 3 for 3? The Jarvan takes a little bit to lock in here.
Away.
It is up to Zalt8 here. Will he pull this off? The Nocturne is hovered and it's locked in. Serial now on the clock. He waits just a little bit. He wants to be a little fashionably late. The Malzahar is instantly locked in. And we've moved into a bit of a lull state here as the bans are going to come out.
Well, will we see the correct bans?
The bans do not have quite as much impact as long as they don't ban somebody that was picked.
This is the difficulty. Universal takes a while to decide.
Set is the correct answer, though. Okay, that is the correct ban that time.
The
Even though,
Jax ban.
even though it
Correct.
was picked before. And there we go. You know, it's gonna make some people mad, but this is what happens when you put top laners in charge of drafting.
I'm gonna agree with that. My beef is with the mid laners, but I've played enough jungle to know that top lane is where the game is lost a lot of the
Oh,
time.
as a support player, I hate top laners.
Oh, just because they're on the opposite side of the map
They,
from you?
just on the opposite. I could get my ADC 4 kills in landing, and I look top, and my Malphite's 0-10 somehow.
Like I said, it's lost in top lane a lot of the time. It's rarely won unless you have a very good split pusher, but it is often lost in the
Yes,
top lane.
I've often heard that top lane is letting your opponent beat themselves rather than winning yourself. Um, that is Karma support MF80C. Despite my pleas, Revex and Squishy Beans would not switch spots.
I believe that the universe has lost this draft again, though. This is my prediction because you pick two great nullifiers, Malphite and Malzahar. If they have someone on the other team that they can nullify, it's great. But there is no one that either of them really want to ult. Like
No, it's not a great option here.
Nocturne, I guess, is the Malzahar ult target, which isn't terrible. If Nocturne goes in while Malzahar ult is up, he just dies. But I think Xayah is not a great Malzahar ult target because she's going to be so far back because it's probably going to be the poke build this time. I think Zoe is going to be too far away for Malzahar to ult. I think Wukong is a fine target for Malzahar to ult, but unfortunately, Wukong also has an ult that you can't cancel.
Yes,
So Wukong goes in,
once
ults,
he spins, he's spinning.
yeah, it's you can't stop him from doing that. I think Malphite has an even worse time because Nocturne can spell shield Malphite ult on reaction. You can't spell shield Malzahar ult on reaction, but you can definitely spell shield Malphite ult. Same with Xayah. Xayah goes up in the air. Uh, Nocturne just spell shields it. Zoe presses R to go away.
Well, even Wukong is able to dash out of that
Yeah,
when his
like
dash is up.
I mean, Wukong can just face tank it because his current build is, I think, Triforce and a Black Cleaver. I'm not sure.
There is that option, and then there is the fun option of Eclipse into lethality.
I think the Bruiser build is probably going to be better for him this
I
game.
think they have enough damage coming out from the Xayah, Zoe, and even Nocturne that he doesn't need to do that. But as
Another
we
good
said,
thing about Wukong, though,
Mhm.
is that if he builds Black Cleaver, his Q and the Black Cleaver both shred resistances, so Malphite won't even be that tanky.
yeah, and obviously, I mean, Xayah is already going to have lethality on her own.
Mhm.
Is she going the Shrell does, she will get that percent armor pen, which feels really good in the Malphite. Nocturne enjoys it. And being solo AP, Zoe is probably not going to have to worry too much about Magic Pen.
I honestly think that Lethality Xayah might be stronger than Crit Xayah against tanks in this game specifically, just because she doesn't have to go Lord Dominic second, she can go Soreldius third. Because Crit Xayah, it's either you get Lord Dominic second or you get it fourth. So you're either forced into building a suboptimal item early to just counter one tank, or you're forced to build it fourth, at which point the game might be over. But Lethality Xayah can go Soreldius third, and after Eclipse Mana Immune. And that's just like a nicer spot in the game to have that armor pen.
Absolutely, yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, it could be, for all we know, it's Crit Xayah.
I mean, it could be.
Crit
Maybe.
Xayah
I
is
think
what has been buffed recently. Despite Xayah coming back into the meta, interestingly, Lethality Xayah is not what was buffed. It was Crit Xayah, but everyone's playing Lethality.
it's just more fun. I mean, I've seen that clip on the front page of Reddit of Xayah getting a quadra kill by just pressing E with like 8 feathers out.
There's some like mental warfare with Xayah that like makes people not able to see the feathers.
I don't know. It is some league players just have blindness to very specific things that they should not be blind to, like someone pinging Malzahar ultas up. That might be that might be a little issue this game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying about the Yumi ult in team fights. Is
Yeah.
sometimes it's just hard to see that.
Yeah, it's low to the ground. but we are getting into game. Let's
Hopefully,
see.
skins load here.
Oh, skin enjoy.
You know, I am a big skin enjoyer. I have myself Ashen Knight Pike. I'm quite proud of that one. This time we do see the Cyber Pup Zoe coming out for Serial here.
Battle Boss Malzahar, the best version of Malzahar.
That is true. We do see Space Groove Blitzen Crank, which I would have to say is the best Blitzcrank skin.
Oh, by far.
And
Easily the
we
best.
even have a quick load time, and it
Wow,
looks
wait,
like
the game is working.
it looks like everything is functional. I see items being bought. I see pings on the map. I think we're cooking here.
That's very strange. The game isn't supposed to be functional.
That's true. As we do see
Mark Merrill promised me.
we see the 5-man fear from Concal's boosters coming up. Malphite is waiting in the tri-bush there. He's going to back off there. Universal might be getting a little lucky here. It is 4-man grouping here in the bot lane, or in the bot side river by the universe. That bush was
They're
not
assuming that it's
warded.
going to be a bot lane invade.
Yeah, they're trying to stack for that, but Universal does have a little bit of a suspicion here that they could come top just because he is hugging that tower. Tablea on the hunt.
Doesn't look like anything is going to come out of this.
No,
I think it's probably going to be...
Oh, maybe. See, it's
It's the bot side invade from...
So,
Huh.
this is the point. They waited so long to recall now. That
No,
they...
wait.
Oh, Zalt and 8880 canceled. So the bot lane is going to get there a little bit late, but they're just going to take the red buff, it looks like. So we're just going to go ahead and split map here.
I was going to say, Zalt cannot recall at this point because he would start his clear so late, and that is just devastating if you're Nocturne.
No. I can tell you, as a bot lane player, Blitz is going to go ahead and walk up here and just make sure that they did take the red buff, but they probably know he did. It looks like they're going to miss at least the first 3 minions here in bot lane. If you're recalling and as a bot laner past a minute, you're probably in a bad spot. As a bit of a spectator issue there on my end. As I remember, I need to fix the scoreboard here. My apologies.
Now, one thing, I'm very glad that it doesn't look like Vale is in the chat. There are 5 Biscuits users in this game.
Well, Vale is possibly in an Easter food coma.
So he doesn't have to watch this.
Possible. He may. I would say maybe he's just silently watching, but...
In contempt. It does look like Zalthate is going to leave 1 Raptor for Yveris, which is very cruel.
It's a bit of a message thing. Not the
Ow,
old...
that was a lot.
Oh yeah, that's good old Comet Misfortune with a nice Q there. This is a very frustrating lane, Karma MF. A lot of poke there.
Now, I'm interested to see... Let me check Concal's runes really quickly to see if he hook any amount of lifesteal in them. Oh, thank you, Spectator, for... No lifesteal in Concal's runes, so he only has his potions to
Oh
keep.
my gosh, Tablea's gonna flash horizontally and
Tablea.
hook.
He hook a minion. That was... I have to give him credit for trying.
He does have Hex Flash, so he's probably... His logic was that he was not too concerned. He did opt for the Aftershock here, as we are going to see Zalt kind of walk through here. Zero going to use that cleanse he got there from the balloon. Not going to do much. Top lane...
I mean, Jocraft did have to flash away.
I didn't even notice that. I'm blind, man.
It was interesting, because I think he could have just walked away. It's an early Nocturne game.
Yeah, I didn't see... I think he still had his spell shield, so I don't think Zoe Bubble even was that much of a threat.
Yeah, it was it might have been a fear flash.
He might have seen Zalt just a little bit late and not remembered Nocturne doesn't really have instant CC here. We are maybe returning jungle to a normal map state.
I think they're not going to keep the split map unless Jarvan invades.
Jarvan has said, well, he knows Raptor timers, so he knows the Raptors are up right now.
He loses this fight. Nocturne has 2 longswords.
Yeah, he loses this. He is not back yet. Not only that, but Serial's going to be able to rotate sooner. Zalt is having a little trouble. He does get away. This is actually really nice to donate that kill over to the Zoe. Honestly, almost would have been better for Uvaris just to go ahead and kill himself on the Nocturne. But Serial's going to get the kill. And now we're just going to go back to some classic top lane action. I auto you, you auto me. Nice bubble there comes out from Serial, gets the empowered auto off, and he's going to try to get the Q around. He does.
Ooh.
But does take a tower shot, so in return, he's going to get poked down about the same. But lovely Corrupting Pots healing him back up. Procraft having biscuits. Amazing, because they give mana. And now
Uvaris is going to be invading Uvaris.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens. When the invade does not pay off and you die like that, it puts you in a pretty bad spot.
I don't think Uvaris wins the 1v1 at any point in this game now. There's an argument to be made that he would win it against Nocturne early on. But at this point, Nocturne is just so strong in the 1v1. It'll never.
It would have to probably be that point in the game where Nocturne falls off a cliff. But that's
he never falls off a cliff in a 1v1.
No, it's just his ability, at least Zalt's ability to kill him quickly enough that no one rotates over.
This is true.
Uvaris can always, as we get a little top lane trade here, the Jarvan is able to just flag and drag out of the tether range. So he should not, unless he's doing invades as he was, he should not be under too much kill threat from the invade.
Deblaya using his grab to get a minion for his support item.
Hey, that is advanced technique, as Universal is going to take quite a bit of damage here from the Wukong. Concal getting hit by the Mantra Q there and takes a lot of health.
Zalhate is looking for the gank, but I don't think it's coming.
Uvaris is on the dragon, and Zalt's going to come around. Karma used her E, though, so she does not have any sort of speed. Zalhate is going to get the fear tether down. Karma gets out, and she's going to use a tether of her own. This meantime, though, Uvaris is on the dragon. It is a Hextech dragon, though, so he could be pretty low. As Serial looks for the bubble. Ooh, but Universal is going to go in. They do secure the Hex Drake, and 888 is going to have a fun time walking away here.
One thing I didn't notice, I don't know if you noticed this either, but Universal went Smite Ignite Teleport.
Oh, he did. He decided he's going to play around that lane pressure. Oh, huge bubble comes in. Wow. His Sarah is going to get the kill. Procraft cannot get to the blast plant in time. Not looking too well here.
The dragon did go over to Universal. Not Universal, the Universe's team. But it doesn't really matter, I don't think. They're down quite a bit of gold. Their top lane is eventually going to get outscaled. I think, again, it's a draft diff.
As the ult comes out from the Wukong here, 888 goes in. Just can't barely get the kill, and that feels really bad to have to use your ult there, because now Malphite is once again going to have a timer when he has ult and you do not.
Well, to be fair, though...
Serial is going to go ahead and use the balloon to flash over and just kill him. Universal does go down, but 888, and the Triumph is not going to be enough to save him, and Serial's just going to kite away from these minions here.
Well, look at that wave that Universal loses, though, from the 888.
Oh, that is massive there. Neither do have teleport, so it is just going to be a sad walk back to lane for both of them.
That's an easy 1v1 trade that you always take as Wukong there.
Yes, it's just it's always going to be that. Could I have done just a little better? And got that. Zalt is going to go ahead and cross over and take that blue buff.
He has ultimate up. Procraft could be dead here.
He does have ultimate. Malzahar does not have the ultimate, and he's just going to die here as his flash barely not up, maybe just a couple seconds off. And things are very quickly spiraling out of control here for the side of the universe.
Yeah, this might be a 2-0. But, to be fair, anything can happen when you have a Malzahar. He has such insane pick potential later in the game.
He does. I mean, they have Malzahar, they have Cataclysm from the Jarvan, and they have the ultimate for Malphite. It is not like they do not have ways to get people.
If there ever was a pick comp, it is this.
Yes.
And iRevex is going the Lethality Misfortune build. Concal is also going the Lethality Zaya build, but Lethality Misfortune can ult and change a team fight at any moment if she's allowed to.
Yes, and even the bullets coming down from her E can be quite annoying. Tablea, I think he knows he's on a ward. Having a little bit of fun there.
sometimes if you don't have your sweeper or a control ward, there's nothing you can do but emote on the ward.
That's true. League is like 65% mental warfare.
Oh.
Sarah's gonna get the spell shield off of Procraft there, and is gonna look for the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Does miss out on that slightly. As Zalt is going to have to go ahead and babysit the mid wave, as Malzahar is just forced to walk all the way around. Huge damage coming out there. That was pretty much a max rage Q coming out from the Zoe.
Yeah.
As Tablea is having fun here.
He might be looking for a Q over the wall, but he just can't find it.
He's coming.
Oh,
he does have flash. Directed camera might be trolling us a little here, but we're going to have a bit of a mid lane trade. Sleepy Trouble misses. Zerial is silenced there. Procraft deciding not to go for the ult. Gets the ult off from the Malphite as Concal's getting poked down by the Karma. And we're just all going to fight at the exact same time and make my life so much harder. Universal does have the health advantage here, down 1 level though. And it looks like A9 is just going to back off.
Universal also had to burn Smite. Ooh! Gank from
Nocturnal comes in, but he's just going to get ulted under tower. Is there enough damage there? The Cataclysm comes in, preventing him from coming out. The MF ult does go ahead and kill. Serial's going to go under the tower, then get the kill. Universe Soul Train with Aiden, but as he sustains here, might not be going too well. Aiden closes the health gap, but just cannot do it. Concal getting poked out, has to use the ultimate. Is now going to be susceptible to the redive here, and is most likely just going to get pressed.
Whoa.
Yep. Very
that was
close
quite
to trading.
A bit of damage.
That was very close. The Karma Shield helpful. But that is big for the side of the universe here, as they've closed the gold gap to around 2,300 now.
To be fair, Zoe did get a double kill there, and Zoe is terrifying if you're on the universe. 4 out of the 5 characters can be just immediately killed by Zoe out of nowhere, and the last one doesn't want his spell shield burned anyway.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Actually, Malphite might be able to survive Zoe.
He's probably going to itemize more towards armor this game, as we see the boots already, and he does have a bramble. If he does not go any sort of magic resist, Zoe will not one-shot him, but it's probably just going to take a Sleepy Trouble Bubble followed up by a Q, and then maybe an empowered auto.
It's true. Zoe does have Electrocute as well, which
yes.
is just even more damage.
And also up 2 levels, as Severus is going to start up the drag here, as they send 4
It looks like
people.
they're just going to be trading drag for Rift Herald here, which is honestly fine.
Yeah,
Rift Herald here, I think, is better for Concal's team than Dragon is.
And we're going to see Tablea is going to go ahead and use the support item to push in that mid tower, allow Sero to get a bit of a plate there. Universal taking a bit of poke damage. It is very annoying for Aiden to get a nice trade-off just because that Bramble Vest preventing him from healing too much.
He does need to wait for the Divine Sunderer to start to actually trade with Malphite effectively. But once he gets Sunderer, I think it becomes much more even, and once he gets Black Cleaver, I think it's over.
Procraft dodges out on Sleepy Trouble Bubble. He needs to be careful here because even if he does not hit the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, Serial does big damages with empowered autos. Malphite is feared under tower. Zalt taking too much damage. That Malphite already. So he misses out on the ult. It's just going to get Wukong ultimate. Blitzcrank's going to go ahead and grab your Varus, knock him up. Aiden with the R2 cast coming in here. Hits him. Going down a little low, but it's going to be hard for Karma to do anything. Does go ahead and ignite and pop the Q. Going to thread some autos here. Just barely is able to shield his way out. And Serial's going to throw a bubble over. Misses out. But Tablea, being Tablea, is going to make sure he does not allow people to back, as let Serial try to find some poke here over the wall. Serial is going to go over with the Ignite. He gets ulted under tower by the Malzahar. Karma, unfortunately, takes the kill.
What did I just watch? What did I just watch?
Zoe Gaming. Concal going to hit low. He's going to have to go ahead and trade the ult with the Misfortune. I believe the Misfortune ult is a much shorter cooldown there than the Xayah ultimate, so Revex is going to be willing to take that trade.
Misfortune ult comes up, actually just 15 seconds shorter. It's not a much longer cooldown for Concal.
Well, what do I know? Universal not taking much damage here, but Zalt is able to get that Herald into the tower. Universal collects it, is not going to get a second charge. Procraft has been sent top lane, so he gets a little reprieve from the Zoe, and they're going to let Universal go mid.
One thing I wanted to mention, the split pushing factor. I think that Concal's boosters has...
Oh, Concal's just going to go down!
Yeah.
E-auto Q there from the Misfortune. He just goes down. Aiden is going to push in Procraft. Procraft's not his spell. She does not have his ultimate, but Aiden is not willing to go for the dive. Just say, you can go ahead and walk away. Universal does come out, spotted out on the control board. Zolhate going in here. We do not stop fighting. Misfortune loses half her health instantly, and it's just feared. He cannot do anything. Yavaris coming in with the flag and drag here. Does not get the knockup. Blitz is going to go ahead and hook him. Sleepy Trouble Bubble misses, but it does not matter. Tablet is going to go ahead and silence. Serial coming in now with the abilities. Going to see the tether come out from the Karma, but cannot do anything. Can Tablea find a Q? He does not have it yet, so does not. Universal is going to go ahead and trade. Aiden does have Sunder, is able to do these sustained trades, but it is not looking too good. The Ignite comes out, does have ultimate, and it is going to be used, and there goes Aiden.
Wow, that was actually, Universal played that very well. Aiden just couldn't do anything. I think he does need Black Cleaver to successfully win trades against Malphite anymore. Because Aiden used ult in that fight as well, but just still lost it.
Yeah, it was, like the
but yeah, that is another thing I wanted to mention. Later on in the game, Aiden and Serial both beat their counterparts in the side lane, I believe. So, the universe has to play. Wow, that's so many damage. It surprised me every time. They have to play closer to the NA RAM, which is not really what you want.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm an enjoyer of a good old NA RAM.
It just lowers your damage, your gold generation by so much. You lose out on all that side lane farm, all the side lane XP.
Serial
it's
doing
not
cartwheels.
Sometimes that's all you can do. The next Drake is coming up in about a minute.
It is. I once again have forgotten to turn the timers on.
I don't even know how to do that, so you are one step up on me.
They recently changed it for some reason. It used to be in the same menu that you toggle scoreboard and all that, as we're going to have the Universal trading here with Aiden. And he not having a good time here. Sunderer was not the answer.
Yeah.
Blitzcrank, Tablea finds the hook, gets the knockup. Zoe says goodbye to your health bar, but Aiden on the other side of the map looks like he's just going to burn down, and he does.
Did you see what Universal did to kill him?
Yeah, he stopped hitting.
Just stood directly on top of him.
The ult comes in here from Zald as Procraft goes, okay. There appeared to be about 3 auto attacks.
Yeah, that is an Axiom Arc Eclipse Nocturne. Even though Nocturne isn't supposed to build Axiom Arc, I don't believe. It lowers his win rate.
Yes, when the item first came out, all Nocturne players said, I like ult, I take this. But it turns out that the stats you give up are actually not worth it. But you know what? If it works,
now,
it works. Tablea is
the mental
go
warfare is significant with Axiom Arc.
It is.
One thing I would like to note for anyone interested is that Udyr does not work with Axiom Arc at all. I have tested this in a game. We won, but you don't get anything out of building Axiom.
Really, it doesn't do anything even to the R cooldown.
No,
nothing. Goes in here. Flash word from Tablea. I do not know if any of those have worked, and he's just gonna get Malzahar ulted. TP is coming in here from the side of Concal.
Universal has no ult.
MF ult is gonna zone people up. Zaldhate going down a little bit. Universal is just a couple seconds off having that Malphite ultimate, but does not have it yet. Serial's gonna use huge damage on Procraft. Is gonna dodge on the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, and Universal is gonna have to stand there and keep the damage out. I think Squishy Beans needs to be a little careful here because a Zoe Q is going to destroy him. But we're gonna walk away.
Only the Blitzcrank died in that fight, which is interesting.
Yes, we saw quite a few zoning abilities used there. As Universal just gonna go in, find Aiden, not having a fun game.
A little bit of greed on that Gromp, because he did see that Universal was coming.
Yeah, I mean, Gromp is worth.
I didn't even get the
Gromp. I was gonna say I don't think he got the Gromp, but you know, the Gromp is fun.
So right now it is a Zoe Nocturne game, which is fine as long as they're able to find those picks before team fights start. But in an actual team fight right now, I think the Universe wins, even at their small gold deficit. They just hard win team fights.
Yeah, it's hard. The Xayah Zaya is very stunted right now, at least compared to Misfortune. Even Karma being up about 1,100 gold right now. As some exciting support gameplay here as we are going to auto-control wards.
That is exciting.
The
support
universe
gameplay.
does win out on that. Zalt is a little out of position, does use the spell shield to keep the knock-up from getting him. Tablea is going to go ahead and speed himself up and look for something. We are just going to bunch up here, it looks like, for the side of the universe.
Has Tablea hit a hook yet?
He has hit hooks. I do not think he has hit any flash hooks yet. I do not believe.
All right.
I like the effort, though.
No, I respect it. If I have a Blitzcrank on my team, that is exactly what I want him to be doing.
He's going to walk for it. It is unfortunate. The Malzahar does make things a little annoying for him when he does that. Herald is going to come down mid here, though.
I mean, Blitzcrank becomes a zoning tool.
Oh, that is not where you want to be. As the tower goes down, and Serial says goodbye to your health bar. The universe is coming around the side here. They have Malphite ult, but it goes in on Zalt. Even though he saw the spell shield, he's just going to get knocked up, going to get feared. Zaya ultimate's going to come down. This is going to be big damage. The Misfortune ult comes down. Serial's going to poke down onto the Karma. The turret does go down to the top lane at the same time. And the only person that dies there is the Karma, but no, coming in.
God.
Serial just hits that over the wall, and Yveris goes down. Tablea is doing mental warfare, I guess, is what Tablea offers. Flash forward there from... He gets hooked up in it. Whoa, my. Does get the Blitzcrank. It is going to go down minions as well as Zoe autos. That was big damage. It is a 2-for-1 there in that instance, but Serial
Turns out that
kills.
the strongest flash hook was actually fear the whole time.
It really was. I think Revex just executed basically a flash hook better than Tablea has so far. He flashed, flashed and hit the same button Blitz is trying to hit, but...
Yeah, that is going to be a third Adam Sereldias coming up. So both teams, I think, are going to have the exact same ADC build. Yep. Where it is Eclipse into Manamune into Sereldias.
Absolutely.
Very, very strange. Just this entire game has just been non-stop fighting. But it's interesting fighting. This is perfect for me. Universal is up 2 levels on Aiden. Despite only being up 5 CS.
Well, you know, CS doesn't matter.
Aiden is going Hullbreaker, so he's going for that split push build, but I don't think he wins the split push anymore.
No, I think even with Hullbreaker, I think Malphite can match him pretty well. So the TP does come down here from Universal for this dragon that is coming up in 16 seconds. We're just going to go ahead and bunch up in the bush here for the side of the universe.
I want to see Wukong teleport down for this dragon. I think that they should fight 5v5 here, even with the Hullbreaker on Wukong.
Are going to get everyone spotted by the Schreier's Boom. Misfortune is zoned off by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, so if they want to go in here, they could, but they do not know that MS is back there. She is still cut off, has to walk her way all the way around here. We do have the Nocturne Paranora up. Wukong does TP in, just like you said. And now we are
Spell shield is broken.
We're going to play the Zoe game, but he goes in, hits the Zoe right as she comes out of the ult. Zoe is there. Misfortune ult gets canceled, but 888's on the back lane, gets Malzahar ulted, but does not go down. He's still up. Malzahar is going to go down here. Karma's going down here. He's on Sarah, but Universal just cannot do enough damage as he goes down, and that is a clean 5-0 ace for the side of Concal's boosters.
Wow. So, that was an actual very strong engage from Universal. He had hate Serial, but Wukong actually made an insane play. He W'd, flashed, and then E-ulted the iRevX, who was Misfortune.
Yeah,
ulting.
Misfortune got off probably about half a second as all, and the Baron is going to be started up here. Health bars are a little low, but they should be able to handle this because they do have 5 members. Serial looks like he's going to be fine because this is going down fast enough. He's going to use all of his abilities and back off.
Alright. Yeah, that is a... that turned a 2k gold lead into a 9k gold. Or 8k? Around?
8k. Almost.
8K.
It's about 82. Well,
math is never my strong suit.
It always fluctuates a bit after Baron because when you all recall at the same time, you're obviously not farming waves. So despite getting the 1500 from the Baron, you end up losing a couple hundred. But as you're just going to go back to looking for team fights.
And again, it is a CS gap in favor of Concal's boosters everywhere except for ADC at least.
Yeah, and Serial is still getting the CS lead as we're going to Tablea taking the chicken. The Sleepy Trouble Bubble
Sleepy
does
Trouble.
hit. The camera does not want to show us it. Malzahar and Malphite are going to have to block that.
They're going for the 4-1 split.
Yep, they're just going to
Conkal's
look for the
boosters.
tier 2s. Those tier 2s this season having... Okay, Universal is just going to have a bad time. MF standing too far forward, and Ravix is just going to go down. Serio's going to look over the wall here. Whoa, that's a lot of damage because that's a Malphite. Malphite does get away there. But does Tablea finds the hook there. He has executed it flawlessly. Forget every other one. That is the only one that matters.
The game is now over because he hit that flash hook.
That is the only thing that matters is the last one.
Gold lead doesn't matter. Interesting hook there. Gonna put that down to a little bit of trolling.
Maybe.
Ooh, Serial hit a. That would have done a lot of damage if it wasn't directly on top of their tank.
Varus is going to stopwatch, but he's going to
Whoa.
disappear.
Explode?
I've not seen a champion disappear that fast since LeBlanc. Wukong's going to go in here, is going to go ahead and knock everybody up, but he's not going to have a good time as he gets tethered by the Karma and rooted down. He is going to go down, but in the meantime, one of the inhibitor towers goes down. Health bars are somewhat low on the side. Balzar is just going to go ahead and ult the Blitzcrank, but Zalt Hate is going to go on the backline. He does have a little bit of a mana issue, so you're going to have to pop a stopwatch. Zalt does not die, but is out of mana. Concal is going to go ahead and use his ultimate to reset tower aggro. Does go down in the end, but there are now no more towers. It's going to be a Sleepy Trouble Bubble hitting, and I think you're going to go ahead and disappear, MF. And Universal is the only one left, is going to try to take down Serial. Serial is just going to go ahead and cut away. He is ignited. Maybe goes down. He does go down. But meanwhile, Zalt is just ending the game. Flashes away. Cataclysm comes down, but it is not enough to stop. And game 2 goes to Concal's boosters as they will advance to the finals.
All right. Very well played by both teams, actually. I think it may have been another draft gap. Not entirely. Obviously, Concal's boosters played unbelievably well. But the drafts are important in both of those games.
Yes, the Game 2 draft was much better. It was still not great. I would love to show some stats here, but small indie company, so unfortunately I cannot. So we're just going to have to sit on this lovely screen.
Could you check the match history of a different, like someone that was in the game?
I should be able to. If we get one moment, I should be able to check Mr. Serial's match history here and go ahead and look at these stats real quick. And as we can see, that is up on the screen. I mean, the gold stayed fairly close throughout the game.
But you can really see when that first team fight was turned in favor for Concal's boosters.
Yeah, and then at that point, things very quickly spiral out of control.
Yeah. Concal says don't look damage, so I think we should check the damage graphs quickly.
Don't look damage. Okay.
Now, I am on the stream delay, so I will see it a few seconds.
Oh.
But
Lethality Zaya coming in very strong here.
It's a very powerful Lethality Zaya. Yeah, that is a little bit of a Zoe gap.
Yeah, just a hair. You know, she's so quirky.
Serial... I love Zoe. I hope she wins. Yeah, Serial was playing Zoe very well, hitting a lot of the Sleepy Trouble bubbles that we saw.
Yeah, I mean, we saw two very good Zoe games. One was by support, one was by the mid lane. Quickly take a peek at the gold graph here. Game 1 was actually even closer than Game 2, but as we see, it was basically the same story. One team fight, and it just spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it was... the Universe almost pulled it back twice in this game that we can see, but again, I think that was when they realized having 3 tanks and a Yuumi is not the strongest draft in the world.
But you know what? They had fun, and that's what really matters in PSU LCS.
I had fun watching those games. They were very entertaining.
Very entertaining. Tablea, I am so happy for you that you hit your flash hook at the end there. I think we need to clip that as soon as possible.
ASAP put it in every chat. Everywhere.
But
I think...
we get one more series next week.
Yeah, oh yeah, show up to finals. I'm going to be buying pizza for people.
I believe...
I'm going to bring probably 3 pies.
I believe that is going to be 7 p.m. on Saturday, I believe.
Let me check announcements.
Announcements, we only have the actual LCS finals, as in the LCS. Um, but I believe we will have PSU Black versus Concal's boosters. I'm being
Yes,
told
I will be going to the LCS finals. That's the one that I'm going to
PSU
be bringing.
LCS finals is Saturday. LCS is Sunday. Sunday is an in-person event. PSU LCS will not be in person, but I believe we are going to try to have a live cast.
Yeah, show up to both, or
Um,
show up on Twitch to the first and then in person to the second.
yes, we have a fun week here coming up. Relax a bit before finals, but thank you for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for dealing with my technical difficulties as I learn how to use OBS. And thank you, Mr. Console, for joining me, as I have been Runkalicious.
I'm Consolo.
And we hope to see you all again very soon.
Yeah, good games. And we'll see you for the finals on Saturday.